Now, in Bangladesh, there's something wrong going on about Muhammad Yunus. Ladies and gentlemen, he's totally turned pro-Islamist. He's been releasing terrorists. He's been releasing Islamists. Anybody who's anti-India, Islamist, anti-Hindu, he goes and meets, shakes hands with, does an arrangement with. More importantly, viewers, now he says that Sheikh Hasina should keep quiet. That is for her own good. He's talking like, what would I call it? He's talking like a person who's setting the terms. He's not talking like a leader. Muhammad Yunus has become very controversial. The Bangladeshi economy has completely, absolutely crashed, ladies and gentlemen. And Islamists are the real people in charge in Bangladesh.
Exactly 1 month ago, these visuals were the start of a tumultuous time for Bangladesh. Amid the chaos, Muhammad Yunus, known for his close ties to the Democrats in America, was flown in to take charge. While Yunus's government promised to bring in reforms and stability in Bangladesh,
our government is committed to ensuring a transition to an inclusive and pluralistic democracy and create an environment in which free, fair and participatory elections can be held.
The actions of the Yunus government in the last 1 month seem to show otherwise. From violent targeting of Hindu groups in the name of a student protest, to Hindu teachers being made to allegedly sign prepared resignation letters by mobs of students. To the Yunus government alleged pardoning spree to hardliners in Bangladesh, to the alleged meeting with anti-India terror elements, Yunus's every move in the last few days raises eyebrows. The U-turn is startling. On the 10th of August, Muhammad Yunus condemned the attack on minorities. On his phone call with the Prime Minister, he assured his Indian allies of the safety of Hindus and minorities in Bangladesh.
সংখ্যালঘুদের উপর আক্রমণ করছে, হিন্দু, বৌদ্ধ, খ্রিস্টান, আহমদিয়া সবার উপর আক্রমণ করছে। এগুলো হলো ষড়যন্ত্রের অংশ।
Less than a month later, in a recent interview to PTI, Yunus has taken a complete U-turn on the plight of minorities in Bangladesh by saying that India's claims are exaggerated. Today, Yunus has not only called out India sheltering Sheikh Hasina as an unfriendly gesture, but has also stated that the former PM of Bangladesh must stay quiet while she is in India. As Bangladesh is reeling under its worst economic crisis, is Dhaka too fixated on appeasing the radicals, or is it all engineered and timed to the US government officials touching down in Bangladesh? Is it appeasement, or is Yunus acting under external influence?
Sharma, who's been reporting on the plight of Hindus, editor-in-chief of Op India, Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, editor of The Blitz from Bangladesh. My first question is to Fakhrul Islam Robin. He's vice president of the Shevok Dal Central Committee. He's a BNP leader. Mr. Fakhrul Islam Robin, you know, I don't know how many people, see, firstly, Yunus is not a leader. You must understand that. He's not a leader. He's a confused fellow. And he's been releasing and shaking hands with all these terrorist groups and all the radical Islamists, with dreaded terrorists. He's been meeting and freeing them. The Bangladeshi economy is completely crashed. And now he's threatening Sheikh Hasina. Threatening Sheikh Hasina and telling her not to talk is not going to help the people of Bangladesh. He should know that. But more than that, the extreme hatred towards Hindus in Bangladesh, the atrocities on Hindus are so terrible, so brutal. He spoke about it when he took over, and then he's been quiet about it. And everybody who's anti-Hindu, he's meeting, he's supporting, he's encouraging. Why is that? Is he just confused, or he's just trying to handle things his own way? I lost the line, or he left. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Yunus Alauddin Shoaib Chaudhary, the moment you speak the truth to anyone in Bangladesh, they're so scared. I think he switched off. I saw his finger go towards the laptop and switch off. I suspect he ran away from the program. But Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, since you and Napur are with me, what is happening in Bangladesh now? We need an understanding of the situation with Hindus and otherwise.
Look, today, during the interview with PTI, Muhammad Yunus said that India sees everyone in Bangladesh as Islamists except Sheikh Hasina. This is a very dangerous narrative, meaning he is giving instigation to a direct rivalry and meeting between Bangladesh and India. This is number one. Number two, he has once again, as expected, anticipated, attempted to whitewash the pogrom. Actually, in my words, it's a Holocaust. Hindu Holocaust. He has tried to whitewash. Hindus are being brutalized. Hindus are being killed, murdered. Hindus are being hanged on the flyovers. Hindu girls and women are being violated, molested. Hindu shops and houses gutted and put on fire. And while he is trying to all of his opponents, political opponents, I would say, because to him, Awami League is a political opponent, he is not only trying to whitewash that atrocities on Hindus, he is not even uttering a word about the legal actions against those perpetrators of crimes. Because, in my opinion, by whitewashing those crimes, by not talking about legal actions, Hindus have no right in this country. Hindus are inhumans. You can burn them, you can rape them, you can set fire on their house, and they don't have any right to even seek legal remedies. Are we living? Actually, yes, we are living in a neo-Taliban state. I have been writing for years. Even I have written in Open India several times that Bangladesh was at the risk of becoming a neo-Taliban. This is a neo-Taliban state. We are witnessing Hindus have no right. Hindus are inhumans. What is this? And now he is openly saying that, giving a new narrative, that India sees everyone in Bangladesh except Sheikh Hasina as Islamist. So, what is this? I mean, am I an Islamist? No, not at all. Not 140 million people in Bangladesh are Islamists. No. What he wants to try is playing a very dirty card against India, against Hindus. That anyone uttering a word against the persecution of Hindus, then he would be branded as the agent of India. Agent of India. That is what he wants to say. And he wants us to remain silent against Islamist brutalities and atrocities that we will not accept, I will not accept. Yunus can send me to jail, he can get me killed, he can hang me if he wants, but I will not stop. And many people, all those people with conscience, you have seen how this guy ran away from the debate. Why? They don't have the moral courage of facing the truth, facing the realities. And Muhammad Yunus, what he said, that India sees everyone in Bangladesh as Islamist except Sheikh Hasina, this is a dangerous narrative. Is it, I mean, is he just declaring a war against India? Then I would like to sit and watch what India does in return. This is a preparation of war, and it is these words, connotations and terminologies are almost similar to those Pakistanis.
Yeah, he is speaking a very ISI kind of script here, without doubt.
Yes,
but
ISI and ISIS also.
yeah,
Islamic State.
and you know, anyway, he's under focus because he's had very strong contact with the American intel agencies, with the State Department. I'd like to bring in Nupur, because Nupur, we have lost focus on what is happening with the Hindus, because not much information is coming out these days. But Op India and you have particularly been at the forefront of this. And you've been agonizing over this issue. What can you tell us? What is happening to the Hindus in Bangladesh? The harsh realities people like Atikur Rahman don't want to hear. We must make him hear tonight. Nupur.
What's happening in Bangladesh is, to Hindus, is a state-sponsored ethnic cleansing. There is absolutely no other way to put this. There is no other way to say this. This is a state-sponsored ethnic cleansing. There are over 70 Hindus, I have the list, who have perished and who've died in hospital of their injuries, because there are certain hospitals that refuse treatment to these Hindus owing to their religious identity, saying that you're Hindus and we will not treat you. There are Hindus who've lost their homes, there are Hindus who've lost their businesses, they have no mode of earning their livelihood anymore. There have been over 30 women and girls who have been raped or abducted. There have been a lot of men who've been murdered. These are poor people from interiors of Bangladesh who have absolutely nothing to do with politics. And when you talk about Mr. Muhammad Yunus today said that, oh, it's being used as an excuse, and the numbers of Hindus being murdered is exaggerated, and it's exaggerated, and India is bringing it up over and over again because they want to use it as an excuse for Sheikh Hasina, and also that the violence is not communal. There is a video of a man standing atop his broken hut saying that, I'm sorry, I think my voice...
No, it's quite clear.
Okay, great. There is a poor man standing atop his broken hut saying that Hindus are not getting aid material after the recent flood. They're not getting the aid material because the boats are simply passing across the houses which belong to Hindus, and they're not being provided relief. For Muhammad Yunus to come on the world stage and say that the numbers are exaggerated and it's being used as an excuse by India, it simply shows that this is a state-sponsored ethnic cleansing. We have to realize that the moment Mr. Muhammad Yunus took charge of Bangladesh, there were over 2,500 Jamaat-e-Islami Islamists who were released from prison. Jamaat was unbanned, saying that they haven't committed any criminal activity. The NSA Home Minister equivalent of Bangladesh, a Muslim, Mr. Sheikh Hasina, he was transferred to Textile and Jute Department because he held a press conference saying that I apologize to our Hindu brothers, we are not being able to protect you and you should be protected. And he also said that there are civilians, Muslims, who are walking around the streets with 7.62 mm rifles. That's meant for military use. How did those guns get in the hand of average Muslims, average Islamists on the streets of Bangladesh, which was then being used to persecute Hindus, which was then being used to kill and murder and rape at gunpoint Hindus? There are temples that have been broken. And I have to make this point that yes, Bangladesh is in focus today because of Muhammad Yunus and the political strife in Bangladesh, which has resulted in this widespread ethnic cleansing of Hindus. But the Hindus in Bangladesh have never been safe. I would have you recall that I think it was in Naukhali, where a Quran was placed by a Muslim at the feet of Ma Durga, to implicate Hindus, which then resulted in widespread violence against Hindus. I think this was in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I think Shoaib can correct me if I've got the date wrong.
It was in Kumilla.
2021.
Kumilla.
Yeah, Kumilla, exactly. And this was a Muslim himself who had done it. Hindus had nothing to do with it. And Hindus still ended up at the receiving end of the ire of the average Muslim mob in Bangladesh. So yes, Hindus were relatively safer under Sheikh Hasina, but they were never 100% safe under any regime in Bangladesh. There's a state-sponsored ethnic cleansing ongoing right now, but Hindus have particularly never been safe. So yes, Muhammad Yunus is to be blamed. After assuming power, he has taken a string of decisions which empower the Islamist groups, which empower the jihadis on the street, which empower the average Muslim to go up to Hindus and say that you have to pay us protection money if you don't want to be killed and raped. And this protection money, by the way, is only being demanded from the Hindus, from the minority Hindus in Bangladesh. This is not being demanded from the Muslims. So yes, Muhammad Yunus is responsible for a string of decisions and actions that has led to the ethnic violence and the ethnic cleansing of Hindus. No Muslim, no Islamist has been arrested. Today we saw a 15 or 18-year-old Hindu boy being lynched to death inside a police station in front of the police. Later, the jihadis with their blood-soaked clothes stood there celebrating, saying that we've murdered a kafir, while the army with their guns stood there doing absolutely nothing. This is not an army. This is a bunch of mercenaries and Islamists who are more than happy that a kafir has been lynched, more than happy that a kafir has been murdered. So I would like to make one point in conclusion, that yes, Muhammad Yunus is responsible for what's happening right now, and this is going to go down in history as a black spot, not just for Muhammad Yunus, who's a Nobel laureate, but also for America, whose puppet he is. However, Hindus have never been safe in Bangladesh. Hindus are never safe anywhere where there is an overwhelming Muslim majority. Mr. Muhammad Yunus is supposed to be the archetype of a moderate Muslim, of an educated, moderate Muslim, who is supposed to understand the plight of minorities, and who's supposed to understand the plight of Hindus, and who's supposed to work for brotherhood and unity and fraternity and all those lovely punch words that get thrown around. In a sense, he is a moderate Muslim who will shield the jihadi, who will go behead the kafir. That's the function of the moderate Muslim, to give covering fire to the jihadi, to give covering fire to the Islamists. And that's exactly what Muhammad Yunus is doing. And that's exactly, I presume, what Mr. Atikur Rahman is going to do. And I presume that's what the hundreds and thousands of Muslims and liberals and leftists, or whatever you want to call them, on social media and in the media, that's exactly what they're doing.
I think
Muhammad Yunus has proved to the world that he is the archetype moderate Muslim who's going to give cover fire to the jihadi when the jihadi holds the knife and beheads the kafir. The problem is not Bangladesh. The problem is not Delhi. The problem is not Jahangirpuri. The problem is not Haldwani. The problem is not Udaipur, where Kanhaiya Lal was beheaded. The problem is the Muslim community's propensity and their compulsion to follow their religious doctrine, which ordains them to either convert the kafir or kill them. And it's time we accept that reality and talk about it, because I, for one, am sick of listing names of dead Hindus at the hands of the ever so peaceful and ever so offended community.
I personally think Muhammad Yunus is a mask. If he's an archetype, he's an archetype of a weak American deep state puppet. He has no experience in governance. He's overwhelmed with the situation, but he's hungry for power. He's hungry for money. He's hungry for a sense of relevance. He will do everything. Shame on him. He has sort of done a tie-up with the Hifazat-e-Islam. We all know what the Hifazat-e-Islam did. We know what they did, along with certain groups, organized anti-India protests. He is teaming up with everyone who abuses India. He's lifted the ban on Jamaat-e-Islami. He has freed the dreaded terrorist Jashimuddin Rahmani. These are all things that are happening, ladies and gentlemen. And his boss, Donald Lu of the American State Department, is going to visit Bangladesh soon. He's an Assistant Secretary of State, effectively a State Department operative. And these are the people who have cultivated and made Yunus whatever he is. But I want to take away from that. Focus on the attack on Hindus. Atikur Rahman watches grimly as Nupur speaks the truth. It doesn't matter to him, you see. For him, it is about Islamist fundamentalism rising, Hindus being targeted. In the larger picture for Atikur Rahman, it's all right. The story you said about a lynching of a Hindu boy in a police station in the presence of the so-called Bangladeshi security personnel, it doesn't move Atikur Rahman. As long as the Islamist fundamentalists are growing, as long as he has a sense that the Hindu population is going down, everything's okay. Am I right, Atikur?
Good try, Arnab and Nupur, to provoke me. I will not get provoked.
There's no provocation.
And under no circumstances...
The Bangladeshi Ministry of Cotton and Jute.
We here in India about the Muslims in
There
India...
is Hindu profiling going on in Bangladesh. Comment on that.
Majority.
I'm sorry, can you
do
tell
not
me how I
consider
tried to provoke him when I was just talking about
in Bangladesh
Hindus
to
being lynched and
be
murdered?
not a minority but a second largest majority? I do not consider. I repeat myself, Nupur, I consider the minorities in Bangladesh, my Hindu brethren, to be the minorities and which should be safeguarded under any circumstances, which has been guaranteed by their Prime Minister in working the Nobel laureate. And he will walk the talk, which the Indian Prime Minister refuses to. It's a shame on our part that despite, old age Muslims being out and being lynched.
Oh my God, can we have one conversation about Hindus being lynched without some Muslims beating his chest and playing victim?
Speaks for their minorities, which are under no circumstances the second largest majority. They are the minorities, and the CEO of Bangladesh.
May I please ask you a question very politely?
The Indian Prime Minister does not speak for the Muslims. I rest my case, Arnab.
May I ask you a question, Mr. Atikur Rahman, very politely? Even though I really don't want to be polite, but I'm still going to try. How is it possible that there is absolutely no possibility for the likes of you to have one conversation about hundreds and thousands of Hindus being lynched, beheaded, murdered, their houses being burned, their businesses being burned, being asked for protection money, which is essentially jizya, being raped, little girls being abducted, being gang raped, being hung on poles after being lynched? How is it possible? How is it not possible for you to have one conversation about Hindus being murdered, one second please, let me finish, by your co-religionists in Bangladesh without pretending to be the victim, without turning the perpetrators into the victim, without turning the Islamists, the jihadis and the Muslim community as a whole as a victim? How is it possible, how is it not possible for you to have one conversation about Hindus being murdered by people from your community? How is it not possible for you to give an across-the-board condemnation saying...
Okay, we have 10 seconds for rebut.
Murdering a Hindu in Bangladesh, in Hindu in Halwani, in Jahangirpuri, in Delhi,
Nupur,
in Northeast,
Nupur,
anywhere, they should be hanged from the pole.
How is it possible
how are you
that
always
you are not
victim?
asking the same question to the BJP and the Indian Prime Minister, our Prime Minister Mr. Modi, that how is he silent when his own co-religionists in India lynch the Muslims?
How does one community
how is it
keep
possible
going on
that
a
you are not
rampage,
asking,
keep
ask the
murdering,
same
keep
question to the
raping,
Indian
keep
Prime Minister?
beheading,
How is it
and then
possible,
play the
Nupur,
victim
that you
constantly?
tolerate the Prime Minister of India not speaking
Where
for
is
the
your
Muslims,
conscience,
the
sir?
minorities in India, which the BJP claims not to be a
You
minority,
have
but the
blood
second
on your
largest
hands
of
minority.
Hindus,
sir.
How is it
You have
possible,
blood on your
Nupur?
hands.
Okay.
You
How
have
is
blood on
it
your hands of
possible?
Hindus.
No, Atik, you are being
This is
unreasonable.
Shameless.
Atik,
This
you're
is
being unreasonable.
shameless.
Her question
This
was
is
very
absolutely
relevant.
shameless.
Answer the question.
How do you not talk about Hindus?
What is happening to
without
Hindus in
turning the
Bangladesh is very
perpetrator
grave.
community into the
And
victim?
Nupur, as I close this, As I close this, I will only say, you say that Atiq has blood on his hands. The person who has blood on his hands, his name is Muhammad Yunus. And he's the good thing about you, Muhammad Yunus, and I hope somebody in Bangladesh tells you this. Mr. Muhammad Yunus, you know how you're going to go down into history. Let me tell you, Mr. Yunus. When history is written, Mr. Yunus, you will be known as everybody's puppet. You will be the puppet of the Jamaat-e-Islami. You will be the puppet of the Americans. You will be the puppet of Donald Lu. You will be the puppet of the military. You will be the puppet of the Hifazat-e-Islam. You will be the puppet of Jashimuddin Rahmani. Ladies and gentlemen, and Bangladesh, the way you are taking it, will become the next Pakistan. Mark my words. It will happen, Mr. Yunus. You are just everybody's puppet. I'll take a short break. On the other side, why I believe Mamata Banerjee is now directly culpable.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.